I'm Candy Evans, and this is Dallas Dirt. Today, I'm so excited to have some out-of-towners on the show. I've got Elizabeth Beck, who's District 9 Fort Worth City Council, and none other than Wes Hoblit, who's the Managing Director of the Fort Worth Master Plan Office. So we brought in some out-of-towners, but they're really not out-of-towners. I'm totally kidding you. And by the way, do you know that Candy's Dirt is named Candy's Dirt because of Fort Worth?
Really? I didn't know
Yes,
that. No.
yes. It was going to be Dallas Dirt, and a very enterprising person said to me, "You're going to really turn off Fort Worth." I said, okay, because I didn't know that. So we named it Candy's Dirt to encompass all, because we do cover your city a lot, and will continue to, because I think it's fabulous. So welcome.
Thank you. We appreciate the inclusion.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think one of the greatest things that we've ever done together is DFW Airport. And I think that the collaboration of the minds and the working together, the two cities can really create some great momentum.
No, I agree.
Yes. So anyhow, welcome. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves briefly, and then we're going to talk real estate Fort Worth. Yes.
Sure.
Elizabeth.
So Elizabeth Beck, I have the honor of serving District 9 on the Fort Worth City Council. My day job, I am Vice President of Business Alliance at the Baker firm, Fidelity National Title Fee Office. And I have 2 children that I raise in Fort Worth, 14 and 16, and a 3-legged dog and a 3-legged cat that I also raise with them. I'm a lawyer by trade. Before that, I was a transportation planner at the Council of Governments. So I have a master's in city and regional planning. And before that, I was a sergeant in the United States Army.
Whoa, we are impressed.
Oh, thank you.
You've got some good credentials there to really arm you for this position.
I think so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you. And Wes, you're with Master Plan, as in Dallas Cawthron's Master Plan. I love Dallas, by the way.
Yes, I'm glad you do. Not a lot of people do.
Oh, no. He gets away with murder with me because I adore him.
Yes, he's kind of I think his term is he's charming in small doses is what he likes to say. So, yeah, but I'm Wes Hoblit. I live in Fort Worth. I serve under Elizabeth Beck as a zoning commissioner. And so I actually went to TCU a long time ago, and so they decided finally to open up a Fort Worth office, and I was the perfect choice. So they chose me.
Now, your market, first of all, your city was just named more fun than Austin in the United States. It's like people are really starting to look at Fort Worth, which we've always kind of known. I mean, I remember going for the real estate conferences there, and I just said, my blood pressure goes down when I'm in Fort Worth. I mean, it's not the traffic, it's not the craziness, it's just an easier feel. I like it. I love it, as a matter of fact. And I think you've got great real estate there too, and you've got a lot of historical homes, which is one of my favorite things. But I know your market, your real estate and development market is really booming, and you guys have added people. How did you do that? We lost people in Dallas, but you've added people. Tell me what you're doing right there.
Well, Fort Worth, we gain about 20,000 new residents a year. And so that's a big jump annually. And it's our job on council and with city staff to make sure that we're out in front of that. And so we try to be as responsive and helpful as possible through the development process. We've got a really great council right now that is really supportive of that growth and making sure that we do it in a way that benefits both business and our residents.
And you've got a great mayor too.
We do.
Yes, you do. And so you have, I'm sure your permit office, I'm going to be nice here, your permit office doesn't make people wait for 10 years to get permits through. So what I've heard is the developers like to go to Fort Worth because they get stuff done probably in the same amount of time. They can build it when they're still waiting for their permit here in Dallas.
Well, I will candidly admit that we have some work to do. As most large cities do, the permitting process is not perfect, as Wes will tell you, but we are working really hard to make sure that we are responsive and we are pushing those permits through at a reasonable pace.
That's great. So tell me about your permitting office.
No, I mean, just compared to Dallas, it's much better. In Dallas, I had to get to the city before at 6 a.m. to where they open at 8 a.m. and I'd wait outside for hours. I was not the first person there to do that either. And so you don't have to do that in Fort Worth. You can call and they'll answer the phone, talk to you, work through the process. It's underrated. You think that should be the basis of the service, but that is an underrated trait that you see in cities now.
Excuse me if I go knock my head against the wall. I mean, it's such basic stuff. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
And that's kind of going back to what you're saying about Fort Worth is it's just your heart rate goes down, blood pressure goes down. You can talk to somebody and just the relationships. It's all about relationships at the end of the day with city staff and developers. And if you have a healthy relationship, and that really helps. And so that's one of the things that we've seen is you still have to work through the process. There's, as Elizabeth stated, there's some work to be done, but it is a smoother process.
So where are the bumps in your process, do you think?
Really just the time that people think they can get it done. Usually on the developer side, they assume it can be done in 2-3 weeks. It's really 4 to 8 weeks typically. So they kind of have to build that in. That's something that we see is, of course, they have the capital, they have the site picked out, they're ready with the plans, and they're eager to open up and start their business. And they just don't really build in that time as much as they probably should. So we kind of help them tell them that's going to happen. So,
But at least you're answering the phone.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's half the battle.
Now, you said that you went to your TCU graduate,
Correct,
right? So
yes.
you've spent a lot of time there, although you're born in Dallas, right?
Born in Lubbock, actually. So
In
I'm
Lubbock.
more akin to West Texas
West
than
Texas,
which is where the West begins. Is where Fort Worth is. So
Absolutely.
that's
yes.
right.
Now, so Fort Worth was the fastest growing city in 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you lost a little bit in 2023. You're still growing, though. Yes,
Oh, sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you add about, as you said, 20,000 citizens in 1 year. Now, are you having trouble finding places for them to live?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What we know is that rents are outpacing the rate at which they're increasing, or definitely outpacing a lot of our comparative cities throughout the nation. And it's because we don't have enough product. And so with 20,000 people every year, that's 20,000 homes. And one of the things I like to say is homes are where the jobs go at night. That's not my quote. I got it from a book from someone who's much smarter than me, but it made so much sense. Yeah. And so we are trying to support that as much as we can. And we do that through the development process, making sure that whether it's single family or mixed use or multifamily, that we're supporting that and getting that across the finish line so that we have a place for those jobs to go at night, and an affordable place so that everyone can enjoy the city of Fort Worth.
Affordability is a real challenge now because it's almost like this ingredient of we want growth. You want the 20,000 a year. We'd love it in Dallas, let me tell you. But with growth comes this problem of not enough housing and prices going up, correct? So what can we do to temper that? Or do we want to temper it? Do we just let it play out?
Well, I think we want to temper it because what we don't want to do is price people out of Fort Worth. We don't want our teachers, our nurses, the people that keep our city running. We want them to be able to enjoy Fort Worth as much as those of us sitting here, enjoy Fort Worth. And so we have to make sure that we are building at a pace that accommodates that, because if not, then like you said, prices go up and they're forced to move outward, or we're forced to build farther and farther outward. And so it is our job, and council has been really mindful of it. We've had several studies to help us really understand the nature of what we're dealing with here in the city so that we can best address it.
And so what is the product that these newcomers want most? Do they want apartments? Do they want mixed use? Or do they want single family homes?
So I think you'd have to talk to them. And what's really great about the city of Fort Worth is that whatever you're looking for, we can provide it. If you want that suburban feel, we have those suburban type developments within the city. If you want an old historic home, I'd love to have you in District 9.
yeah.
We have lots of those there.
Yeah.
If you want mixed use and walkable, we have that in the near south side and on West 7th. And so we are making sure that we have a variety of housing options because we understand that people have a variety of needs that they're looking for.
Right. Fort Worth is located in 5 counties, right? And you're spread out because you annexed a lot of land early. So you still have room to grow, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have problems looking for the land.
No problems looking for the land. And I think there's more to come as we see a lot of those large ranches on the periphery of Fort Worth start to
They're
develop.
going to sell, kind of like they did in Dallas, but then, or more in Plano. Actually, more in Plano.
Yeah,
is,
going up 75.
Yeah,
that's
75 is where it was all
very
ranch
similar.
land. Exactly, at that time. So that's going to come. And where is the most area that's left to develop? Are you thinking, or are you seeing?
Probably west and south.
West
I would
and
say
south.
would be the two primarily. Yeah, north has been built out a lot. District 7, District 10, kind of up 35 West is very developed out.
Yeah.
A lot of single family homes there, which a lot of people moved, I guess, in the last 5-10 years. My family moves up there as well. So my family, they chose to live up there. So it's a lot of housing and pretty new and nice and affordable. So that's why they chose that. So.
And they chose that. And do you think your housing is affordable still?
I mean, I looked at buying a house in Dallas and I couldn't find one in Dallas. So I was looking in Farmers Branch. So, and I was able to find a very nice, if not better, home in Fort Worth for less than what I was looking at in Dallas.
Price point?
Under 400.
Under
So,
400. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Because
mean, I
we
think-
write about a lot of homes in that price range. Exactly. In Fort Worth. Yeah.
You know, I think Fort Worth is experiencing what a lot of other major cities across the country are in the skyrocketing home prices. But I do think that we are much more affordable than some of our neighbors.
It definitely. And these prices came from not just the cost of land, but from the cost of labor and the cost of goods, which happened during COVID, you know, when lumber went up. I understand it's come down a little bit, but it's still high. And labor is higher now. We need to invent a whole new generation of plumbers and people in the building industry, because we need them to build homes. And when there's a scarcity, that drives the price up too. So what do you think we could do to keep affordability up and hold prices down for newcomers?
For those looking to buy,
Looking to buy
a home, or
yeah, say
just
in the $300,000 range. Is there anything the city could do?
It's a great question
Well,
for you. I'm
so
not
one of the
sure.
things that we're working on, and I'm proud to have it in District 9, is a land trust. And so as we get that going, it will allow people to buy into a home at an affordable rate and then act in perpetuity, so that when they sell that, the amount of profit that they earn is capped, so that the next person buying the home also can step into an affordable home.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So does the city buy the land?
So it's a partnership with several family foundations and some organizations. The Southwest Baptist Theological Seminary was selling some of their housing, and that's really how that came about. And so we're really excited. The Rainwater Foundation has been really a key partner in making all of that happen.
And so you buy a home there and it's more affordable. And then when you sell it, you can't make the huge spike.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And so you own the home, it's yours. You can live there as long as you want, and you can will it to others, but you can't, I mean, if you go to sell, unlike on the open market where
Right.
you can get as much as you like for it, because we
Whatever
want
the
the
going
next,
rate is. Yeah.
correct. But we want to make sure that the next person stepping into that home, that it remains affordable forever. And so we're really excited, and it should be the largest land trust in the country.
Now, does that lower the property taxes at all?
Well, so we haven't built there yet. It's still in the
You're
design
still in the
phase.
design phase. Okay.
Correct.
I think
Yeah.
that's great. And I often think you guys have the same property tax issues that we have, obviously, in the state of Texas, because we don't have an income tax. But what can we do about the property taxes? I know they've come down a little bit, but as they've come down, the insurance costs have gone up. So you're really at a wash as far as the homeowners getting some relief.
I saw State Farm is no longer insuring homes in California, and several homeowners have had their premiums increased by 250%. We are very fortunate that has not happened here in Fort Worth. So we'd like to make sure it stays that way, and we do that by providing a safe city for everybody to live in. We struggle the same way that everyone else does in providing adequate services to a growing city, but also keeping your tax rate down. And so a lot of times that's a lot of cussing and fussing amongst those of us on city council, right, to make sure that we're funding what needs to be funded but also being incredibly mindful of the dollars that our taxpayers entrust us with.
You all have added new residents to your tax coffers, where Dallas is actually losing population. In fact, if we didn't have births here, we'd be in trouble. We're shrinking. People are not staying here. They're going to the other suburbs to live, to educate their children, and in many respects to work. What are some of the problems that are coming with growth that we may be able to look forward to someday?
Well, what I see mostly at Zoning Commission is upset neighbors. It's a lot of the growth areas. They are tired of the traffic. I had a neighborhood meeting, I guess it was last week, and it took me 30 minutes to get to where I needed to go, and then 30 minutes off the highway to the neighborhood. So they struggle to get out of their neighborhood. There's just a lot of people that move to the city. They live there. They all want the same thing, a nice home to raise their family in a safe city, and they're struggling with the issues of that. And more people are coming, and they're facing more traffic, more just everything. They expect to buy a house out. Oh, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. Don't worry about that. Then all the other homes come up around them. And then that kind of makes the issues compound a little bit more than they originally thought when they purchased the home.
It's no longer the quiet neighborhood.
No. And they appreciate single family, and they want some retail associated with that, but it's more of the single family than the retail that's coming on board, which is kind of causing some of the problems.
Interesting. And when you have more density, you have more policing issues, right? And more crime issues, or
I would not necessarily say that with density comes crime. I think obviously when you have statistics, the more people you put into an area, that's going to skew those statistics. But I think with density, one, representing the central city, I'm a fan of density. Going through the budget process, I'm a fan of density because what I know is that it's less lane miles that we have to maintain. It's less sewer miles or water miles that we have to maintain. We don't have to build police or fire stations farther out. But there are some issues that come with density. And I think Wes brought up transportation was one of them. And we did see rapid growth in the north and we didn't build for that. And so we paid for that quite literally in our last bond package, where a good portion of the road dollars went to fix the wrongs of North Fort Worth, where we hadn't invested at a rate in which we saw growth and development. And so those are the types of issues that we really struggle with when we bring new people into the city of Fort Worth, is making sure that we have the municipal resources to support them, to keep them safe and healthy.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. Northwest Fort Worth is developing faster than the city can maintain it. So that's a tough one. But getting back to density, I know that our council also likes density, very big proponents of it. It costs less, yes, per square foot, and brings in more tax revenue than the single family homes, right? Correct. Now, Dallas is 86% single family homes. What is Fort Worth?
I actually don't know. That's
Yeah, I
a
don't
good
have that
statistic
either.
that we should have.
But you have a lot of single-family home
We
neighborhoods.
do have
Yes.
a lot of single-family home neighborhoods, and we really started probably in the early 2000s is when we really started to focus on density. And you saw the urban village, that's West 7th now, and near Southside, and more residential development in downtown as well.
And that's where I think is key. You started a lot of the downtown penthouses and condos and everything. I remember going down to the opening of several, and you started early on building those. In Dallas, we did Uptown, and then we did the Ritz-Carlton, and you guys have your, what is your equivalent there? The Ritz, you've got what is the new one you
In
have?
downtown?
The Omni, yeah, the Omni.
Kempton, the Omni, we've had a lot of new hotels come
Yes.
on in
Spring
downtown
Hill
Fort Worth.
Suites,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got, I understand, an Auberge property coming, or do you have one
We
already?
do.
You have
one.
it.
Yes,
The Auberge
so on
property?
Camp Bowie, we've had
Yes.
two big developments.
Yeah.
One of those being the Crescent, and the other one being Bowie House. And so we are
House.
really excited to have that level of amenity in the city.
Their Crescent's coming online too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Another
Panther,
office.
once we see Panther Island start to
great.
develop, I mean, that's going to be
wait.
huge for our community.
For your
Yeah, I
community
think
as
we're
well.
voting on that for the height. We're increasing the height because it's down on the cliff. It's about 100 feet down from downtown. And so they're like, we need to make this higher so we can make it even with downtown,
And
kind of
get
like
more.
uptown.
Yes, exactly. And get more folks in there. Well, I hear people in Dallas talking about going to the new Auberge property.
Well, we'd love to have them.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's how big the news is. The traffic. You said that the traffic has gotten worse. What can we do about that? What can you all do? What are you thinking of doing about it?
Well, for me, I live in the Southwest Fort Worth, and it takes me 12 minutes to get from my front door to my front door of my office. So I hop on Chisholm Trail Parkway, and I'm there in a minute. But it's hard to really get anywhere without a car. But
Right.
I think we are focusing on building a new railway,
Right.
new rail station, Tex rail station down in near Southside Medical District.
Yeah, so we are bringing TexRail a little farther down into Fort Worth, into the medical district. So we're really excited about that. But one thing, we don't have the robust transit system like Dallas does. And so that's something that we definitely need to work on, because as we bring all these people on, what we know is that we can't build enough roadway capacity to move them in a way that keeps their stress level down. We want you to still come to Fort Worth
Yeah.
and have that feeling of your
feeling.
stress level has
Yes.
gone down.
See, I take people.
Yeah.
I'll tell people to take the TRE.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do that all the time when I was living in college at TCU and then working in Dallas. I took the TRE every day, and it was great. So I could work on the train, sleep on the train, and I got dropped off downtown to downtown, no problem. So
Wow.
it was nice, and it was a set time. I didn't,
Yes.
it wasn't like okay, I'll get there 35 minutes. Well, it's really an hour and a half because of
Right.
an accident here or there.
And that's something that still, I mean, you can still do
Yep.
today,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
So you've
yeah.
got that.
Yeah, and that's why there's still a lot of Stars fans in the Fort Worth, so they can get to the games pretty easily.
And
not
go
too
right
much.
down.
Yeah.
Perfectly located. Absolutely. Now, the neighborhoods that don't want to see this growth, the NIMBYs. I hate to use that word, but you got them too?
Of course, you always find someone who doesn't want to see some sort of development in their neighborhood.
They
It
don't
doesn't
want the
matter what it
change.
is.
They
It
want the
could be-
growth, but they don't want the change.
Sure, I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah, change is scary to a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And so people like their way of life. They moved out to wherever they moved because they liked exactly what was around them at the time. And so when you talk about changing that, it can ruffle some feathers.
Right.
But if you just focus on good quality development and make sure you're bringing that in, most of the time it all works out in the wash.
I think a lot of it is educating the consumer too, and helping them understand that this helps their property value, not hinders it as much. And I think that's something that we try to do.
Yeah, well, I think everybody loves their property value to be high when they go to sell, right? But not
for
so much when they
taxes.
get the tax bill.
Get the
Yeah.
tax
Yeah.
as we talked about.
So.
Well, we unfortunately have to wrap up this wonderful session, which to me was entirely too short. So I want to do this again. But before we leave, I want you guys to tell me where you think Fort Worth will be in the next 5 years. Are we still going to be? Are we going to be the fun city that's going to surpass Austin and everyone's talking? Are you going to overshadow Dallas?
Yeah, that's the goal, isn't it? Right? You want to be it's always Dallas Fort Worth, not Fort Worth Dallas.
That's right.
So even though in the way it should be read, it should be Fort Worth Dallas if you're reading as that
Yes.
way. Yeah. But I see a good future for Fort Worth. I mean, there's a lot of people moving out there. The people that I talk to,
That'll continue.
they're coming to come. They want to come and they continue, or they just want to be in the city. It's more relaxing, as we previously stated. Your heart rate goes down a little bit when you're there compared to Dallas. Not as much traffic, cheaper cost of living, I think, for housing, all that good stuff, and better restaurants. Honestly, better barbecue at least for sure.
Might not argue.
But I think that's something I appreciate about it, and I see a lot more people coming.
I think that's great. And the businesses will be coming too, yes.
Absolutely.
The jobs, exactly.
right, the job creation.
Yeah.
The homes are where the jobs go at night.
Correct.
I mean, we have
So,
so
Elizabeth.
much development happening right now with A&M coming in. That's a $350 million project for Aggieland North, as we're calling it. And that's really exciting, coming to the southern end of downtown. Right next door, we are spending about $90 million to revamp our convention center. So,
Wow.
we're really investing in things like that to help bring people to the city. And we mentioned Panther Island earlier. That's rocking and rolling as the federal funds finally came. You're going to start to see that really develop into something truly amazing. West 7th is really, we have some really great developments coming to West 7th. People that are really investing in there's 2 goldenrod projects that are really going to change the face of that area. And then we've got
Goldenrod being?
Goldenrod's one of our developers.
A
development
developer.
company.
Okay, great.
Out of
Yeah,
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
And then
I
we've
know.
got a local team in trademark properties that are investing in near Southside. They've got a $98 million development coming in. And so we are growing. We are moving. I think that we will continue to be the funnest city in Texas without question. And I think we'll continue to be one of the safest cities as well, because we really focus on your health and your safety and making sure that you are proud of the city that you live in. And I know I'm certainly proud, and we stole Wes from Dallas. And
Yes,
so
yeah.
we'd love to have more of you if you'd like to come over.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm proud to be your neighbor. Okay, so thank you.
We keep our yard cut.
Yeah.
and,
Do you
Yeah.
keep the fence intact? And,
Yeah.
Well, and the fence is lower now
Yeah.
because
Sure.
we've got DFW as a little jettison. This is great. I will be over there. I want to tour Panther, and then we'll talk about it some more.
Yeah.
And please tell everyone in Fort Worth to read Candy's Dirt and to send us story ideas, because we want to cover you more and more.
Absolutely.
Thank
Happy
you
to do
so
it.
much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And thank you for
thank you.
joining us, because you never know what we're going to talk about or what community we're going to talk about here on Dallas Dirt. Even though it's Dallas, we do Fort Worth. Thank you.